good, but have a lot of issues underneath it. So that's why I became an ADHD coach, and that's why I'm here today. To finally not not be afraid of putting myself out there,
Good for
because
you.
I put procrastinating,
Mm.
ironically, speaking on podcasts and or presenting, because just scared to put myself out there, because eh, all the challenges I face, because of ADHD and airway issues, and so yeah.
100%. God call all of us to serve, and we all have a specific purpose in life. So thank you for putting yourself out there, for helping other people, like, with the issues that you had. So I believe that while we go through in life, meaning I was an airway child, right? I snored, I slept with my mouth open, I had difficulty learning in school. I had all these things. Those were my challenges growing up. I believe that the challenges you have in life are directly related to your purpose. So you're supposed to go through those things, learn from those things, and then go out there and go help everybody else who may be in the same situation you're in. So thanks for going out there, and I'm so thankful to be able to have a platform that allows people to come over here and share their story and share how they can help people. So one of my questions is, whenever you were growing up, you didn't get diagnosed until in your 20s, early 20s. Growing up, did any doctor, any pediatrician, or um, recommend a sleep study?
Well, I thought I had okay sleep, and just say, yeah, it's fine, I get 8 or whatever. But at the end of the day, I slept too much, and I spent a lot of hours in bed, and my sleep
Mm.
wasn't good, so that's why I responded that way. And no doctor in general. Did they ask me about my sleep? They probably did, and I just said it's good. But
Yes, 'cause
it
a lot of
wasn't.
times
Yeah.
they don't do a sleep study, and I really do believe that a sleep study should be included in children's checkups. So you're getting blood work done, you're asking for nutrition, making sure these kids are exercising. There's movement, nutrition, and sleep. Sleep should be part of the screening. We got to make sure because there's so many kids out there, or even adults with a sleep issue without knowing they have a sleep issue. They're showing symptoms, so people tend to check symptoms, but they don't check everything else. Tay is saying, same. I slept too much, never questioned it, but just shouldn't finish. But yes, it's a problem, and we need to start pushing our professionals out there to start um, asking more about sleep. Let's check sleep, because it doesn't mean that spending 10 hours in bed as a child, it doesn't mean that you're getting quality of sleep. You have to make sure that you're staying enough time in every single sleep stage. You're breathing well and you're getting the benefits of healing sleep. Otherwise, it is not sleep. Especially when we start adding, medication to it. We interviewed somebody on Airway Circle, Dr. Carolina Ferraz Soares, last week, and she said sedation is not sleep. And there are so many people out there sedating themselves, thinking they're getting rest, and they're not. She finished her message with, same. I slept too much, never questioned it, but just thought it was my fault for procrastinating and staying up too late with schoolwork. Yes, there are too many kids. You guys tell me, whoever is listening live right now, tell us, as a teenager, how did your sleep patterns change? Or do you have a teenager in your home right now? They have a hard time making sure that they go to sleep early. It's definitely a problem. So, Henry, um, when did you find out that you had airway issues?
Yeah. So during COVID, I stopped driving around to get neurofeedback, and started going down on seeking more alter- um, alternative health stuff on the internet, and started seeing the ENT first time seeing the allergist. I never had allergies and related issues before, but I had breathing issues from because I was bad at sports and running.
Mhm.
So
Me too.
yeah,
Super clumsy and I couldn't breathe.
yeah, same. So I got tested. So, oh, you got all these allergies, huh? Never allergies before. And take this, do this. I was like, oh, I'm tired, too tired to do all this, clean up all this, do that all the time. And there's allergens everywhere. So because my brothers had allergies, but I didn't, and I don't know why I wasn't tested before, but I didn't have like runny nose issues before, etc. But I did mouth breathe. So, going through all that, I then, also was listening to like biohacking podcasts and stuff like that. And then one time I stumbled upon looking at sleep stuff, and I found Dr. Stephen Park, the ENT,
Yes, it's
in
wonderful.
in New York, his blog, and I even asked him a couple questions or something, and then I was like, huh, and then started trying to okay, what to do about it, and then my brother, at the same time, he found out about myofunctional therapy, which I didn't see on Dr. Park's website, or maybe well, there's so many things on internet. So, and then he started to see that person. I went there for evaluation, and then she recommended go to Dr. Evans, the
Mariana
orthodontist.
Evans. Mhm.
Yes, and we went there, and we both got MSC and braces, which my
Oh,
brother
so
had.
you've had expansion now?
Yeah, my brother had expansion before. I mean, no, had braces before, but he had to get it again since he got expanded, and so that was like 1.5 year process. Now I'm out of it. So I still have some issues because of just sleeping with stress and some other stuff to get out of my mind and body. So, and then maybe some things are weak or tight still, but
Mhm.
because I didn't go back to myo slash, but I
Don't
slash
tell
I
me
don't.
that.
Well, part of it is another issue, but but I do want to go back, and get it fixed. Um, so I am, and I do a lot of self care, stuff, but still, it's part of it is still like I I I hypoventilate, um, and so not breathing enough, and holding my breath. So yeah, so that's pretty much about my how I found about Airway. So,
So
still work in progress. Yep.
after going through the MSc, what did you notice in terms of improvement?
Actually, I don't know if I really felt improvement because I have other underlying, I mean, other issues I'm dealing with.
Mhm.
Um, because really bad breathing for many years, and bad sleep, and uh, CPTSD, from that and the events that happened to me. I mean,
Mhm.
not happened to me, how I reacted to them. And so,
Oh, I like that. It's not what it was done to you, is what
yes,
you do with what was done to
yeah.
you.
So there's a lot of onions to peel still, and
Mhm.
even
Lot of
I'm
layers.
working with somebody, and it's like, oh, we're finally working on your ADHD, and it's like, well, she didn't say that, but then she said that. It's like, finally. I mean, I've been doing it for like 12 plus sessions, but this is not trauma therapy. This is alternative energy work, which I love doing. So, I mean, getting it done on me, with my current situation. But yeah, so that's so. I mean, I s- I since seeing them, I've been getting less allergy issues, but still, right now I'm not in a very good spot in the Northeast, which is where I'm from, but I don't want to be here anymore. And Pennsylvania has too many trees and too many allergies.
Yes.
But so when I'm somewhere else, I feel much better in general, except
So
when it's humid, because I'm not breathing.
Mm-hmm.
properly still.
So how many
Um,
millimeters did you get expansion?
3.6 or 4.
Oh, that's it? Do you know
Yeah.
where your molar to molar was?
Uh, 36.
It was
And she,
36 before?
yeah, I mean, Dr. Evans says that's enough, but my younger brother, got the butterfly looking or even newer MSE, and got more expansion than both of us.
Mm-hmm.
But then my twin,
You have a
he's like,
twin?
yeah, he's a twin, fraternal twin. He's like, I don't think I need an MSE. I could have somehow mewed and used affirmations to move my palate, because he moved his jaw with affirmations, and right now he has TMJ issues because of that. Um,
Okay.
so so yeah, using affirmations, just listening to repeat to expand his maxilla didn't didn't go so well for him, and he's been fixing that.
I
But
wanna see
it's
those before and after photos before I believe you.
yeah, yeah, he does have them. So yeah, so I don't know why I didn't get that much expansion. But so it's, I mean, it can go up there, but sometimes I still bite my tongue, so you can see those marks
Mhm.
on it. And right now I've been sleeping on a wedge pillow, but then sometimes I sleep on my sides. I know I was trying to avoid back sleeping, but I toss and turn a lot. And it
Have you had
also,
a sleep
yeah,
study?
I had it 3 times. One was the the home version, and the
Uh-huh.
other two were in person. They did tests for UARS. I was even thinking about going to Stony Brook and going way over there, but I was like, oh, that drive and being so tired and sometimes irritable with driving slash
Mhm.
hating driving because of that. So I didn't go there. So it said no signs of UARS. Um,
Very
but
interesting.
yeah, so and I do have a deviated septum,
Mhm.
and so this one is small and gets clogged more. But the one thing that it did work was putting on these little bit expensive, like Airway filters for the nose. It's like, oh, those
Mm.
work, but then of course it looks funny if you go outside. But um, it's like it blocked everything pretty much. I was like, huh. I f- and I did one time wear it even more into the day, just at home, and it's like, oh, this is pretty good. But then,
Somebody did send
yeah,
me some of those filters to put here, but to me, that's gonna block the airflow.
to me it was fine. I wore it for 16
Mhm.
hours. I was like, oh,
Wow.
okay. For the last time I wore it, was my last one. I wore it for like 16 hours. It just got a little annoying because then the allergies from the day started happening or whatever, and then then it gets wet and you're like, ah, it's over. Um,
All right. So you wanted to come on here because you have a very important message to share with the world. Go for it.
so ADHD is real, and if you have airway issues, there's a higher chance you might have ADHD. Across the board, everyone with ADHD in general has a higher chance of airway issues, and the medicine doesn't solve everything if you have ADHD. And a lot of this is about holistic lifestyle
Mhm.
for managing both, and what you can to expand your airway. And there's hope, and it takes time, like everything. And ADHD folks are some of the most amazing folks on earth. And some of them are even speech therapists who do myofunctional therapy. Some of them are, undiagnosed and famous, possibly Princess Diana, and
She had
even more
ADHD?
and more. Yeah.
Why? What are the signs and symptoms that she had?
Well, she was, this impulsive things. She really goes out and about to help people. She had money struggles. She spent a lot of time helping children before she even got into public eye, and has that charm that ADHD folks have, because they're the most charming people on earth. All the top TikTok, Facebook, Instagram celebrities, it's all high chance of ADHD. It's not like you're talking about the symptoms like disorganized. We're talking about the positive ones.
Yeah.
They're really good at having empathy and caring for others. They're they're humorous and funny. They have a lot of energy. They're so passionate and curious. They might focus so much on different stuff or way too many things at once, and they're really creative and good at problem solving and resilient and adaptable and even spontaneous and adventurous. These are just some of the strengths. Not everyone has all of them, but they have a good portion, like resilience, that for sure. So it's like the particular strengths is where I see in general they're like, okay, there's likely their ADHD, and then some of the weaknesses that jump out. And it's like, oh, I had a client just like her, but she didn't get famous and was and doesn't have that charm that she has. So it's like, and then hear about like celebrities and stuff. It's like, if you got to be crazy ADHD to want to be a celebrity, you know.
Okay.
So it's like you got to be so persistent and deal with so many things and be so resilient to so many things. And then sadly some of them, with airway issues or trauma and not a good supporting environment, which is the most important for ADHD folks, having a supportive environment, whether
Mhm.
that's in your work or home. And being a celebrity is very lonely. It can feel very lonely if you have a lot of people around you. So you know having somebody, whether it's a coach, a therapist, and a group to help you work through the things that you hid from, because you put on so many things to get to the top,
Yeah.
from actor to CEO to researcher, etc. So yeah.
So, how do you help your patients?
Yeah, so I help them, first of all, like when you see a doctor or a therapist, I want to get kind of like the gist of your whole situation, like your map, the background information about you. So I screen for airway issues. Of course, the best I can, just a questionnaire.
Mhm.
And I ask them, what are their strengths, their positives, how's your home environment, how's your work environment, how's your relationships, what medications are you on, what stimulants are you taking, what things are you addicted to? What things do you want to improve on? Where do you want to go in life, etc. So I'm trying to get their whole life picture, and we're gonna. It's like, what is the most important thing that you want to achieve, no matter what? It's kind of like the thing that really push you. Of course, some people are like, it'll be, I want to be, a millionaire. I want to be a successful actor, whatever it is. Of course, if you don't have that, we're gonna have like, hey, we're gonna make life more easy by making it more you, so you don't avoid things that you hate doing, and
Mhm.
slash maybe you have someone else do the things that you don't want to do. We're trying to create more play and fun into the stuff you're avoiding, or or just doing busy work instead. So we're taking their positive stuff, and then we're trying to put it in where they're procrastinating and doing unhealthy things. And it's like, you have to give up those things, but that doesn't mean life is gonna end and it's boring. So using more music, using more accountability, analyzing your habits, and reducing bad food, bad sleep
Mhm.
habits, bad computer habits, bad social habits, etc. Over time. So in the beginning, it's like, hey, we got to create structure. You have to give up those bad addicting things. We got to say, okay, what do you want to use? You want to use music? Do you want to use exercise? We got to make sure you have that stuff. And because a lot of times when you don't have the rules in place, and also the rules that make it fun, then you have trouble. The problem is, like, with the internet and video games and all that stuff, it makes you feel good instantly, and that you chose it.
Mhm.
And you have to do that with the same of your life. You got to play by some rules, like airway issues. Yes, you got to make sure you listen to your body, use the restroom, take a breath, calm your anxiety and depression with somatic exercises and with breathing and mindfulness and eating slower, all those things. So we're trying to, build up little habits over time that are very ADHD and airway friendly, because when you get stress, which is just so much stress everywhere, then you take it on your body and your mind, and over time that can build up one day to cancer and all these other health issues.
Mhm.
And we want you to be a well running machine. You got to take care of yourself like an athlete. So you
Yes.
got to warm yourself up. You got to get in the zone. You have to and take a break and recover and sleep and all that stuff. They view themselves highly, and you have to view yourself highly. And they have that
Mhm.
supportive environment, because they got people planning everything, and they at the same time they enjoy what they're doing, the athletes. So of course that's important. Some AC folks, they hate what they're doing because they haven't found
Mm.
what they're good at and what they like. So a lot of AC folks are in careers that have variety, and they're really helping people or inventing thing or achieving or etc., and it really makes them drive to keep going, whether it's learning, helping people, etc. That's why a lot of mercy doctors have ADHD, because it's like, hey, every day it's it's different, and there's pressure
Mhm.
and accountability, and it's like that's what you need to really keep going with ADHD, unless you do have really good structure, because some of them are accountants,
Mhm.
but they are so bored at their job, a lot of them, because they listen to music to keep them going. So we got to find what works for you, because we're looking for like a panacea pill, and it's like that's not going to happen. It's about
Mhm.
your own manual. I mean, I want to write a quick guide or manual, but it's like, yes, we have people's stories and all that stuff. Yeah, I could put on there, but what matters is you. And I don't think matters is all these extra tools and all that stuff. It's like none of that matters when it's like I don't know anything about you, and then you get overwhelmed by all these things, and it's going to take time because you got so many habits ingrained. So taking care of airway early, taking care of ADHD earlier, then you're like, hey, it's way easier when it's younger than older, as you get more stubborn and more busy. Because right now it's like most of the newer folks getting diagnosed or overachieving ladies and their children, and so it's like they're so busy, and they might one day seek airway help as their like last resort. It's still chaotic, their life. So you need someone to help them manage their life, and then taking on another practitioner when they already have like they see a therapist, they might see a marriage therapist, they see you, they see
That's so true.
massage. It's like there's so many things, and it's like and they're like self-hating and negative, and feel all alone. Well, problem is, especially with HC females, is they don't have each other. It's like they're really good at helping each other because
Mm.
they love helping, and they get so busy with modern life and expectations, and not saying no and all those things. And
Oh.
because they did fine doing pre-med, but now you have 2, 3 children, a house,
Mhm.
and a husband, and you got 10 places to go every week, and your body can't keep taking that, especially with airway issues. And they're and then they end up with chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, panic attack, anxiety. So of course,
Wow.
and then and a good chance they also have UARS, too, because that's one easier to miss. And
Mhm.
of course, that's one spectrum, and then the other spectrum is whether it's a guy in high school or college, or just a regular dog. He's just barely, he's just like a zombie for life, like just like I was, just a zombie. And well, sometimes zombie, sometimes stereotypical ADHD. And it's like and they're just like video games or internet, and it's like there's no life in them, but they
Mhm.
feel life when playing the game, but there's no life, and there's like so much potential. And then their mom have airway issues too, and then they're both it's not a fun mess to deal with. And
What do
you
you think about somebody recently told me that there may be a correlation of past traumas and ADHD, like
yes,
emotional?
yeah. So ADHD at the end of the day is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Those are the symptoms. So when you got trauma, it affects the front part of your brain, and and ADHD is when that part of the brain's not working. So the prefrontal cortex, when it isn't working, then you have ADHD-like symptoms. But do you really have ADHD? Well, then do you really have that personalities of ADHD folks? Like I said, there's many types of ADHD folks. From the people who are cooking your food on TV,
Mhm.
and to the artist, to the celebrity, and whatever. It's just, hey, when you have trauma, then you could have had that, birth trauma, you could have had when you're a child. And so it's like, if you got to really look at the whole history related to it. And at the same time, a lot of AC folks, they come from traumatic families. A lot of them get cancer and health issues and all that stuff, which yes, when you have more early or late pregnancy, it's more likely you can get ADHD children. And that if you have stressful pregnancy and chemical or nutritional issues, then you're more likely to have ADHD children and also other neurodivergent folks. But doesn't mean those things are bad. It's just the body's like, we need those type of people to go out because it's so stressful. And who's great at handling a chaotic world? ADHD folks and Asperger's and whatnot. I mean, if your dog has ADHD, and a lot of animals have ADHD, so it's like
Really?
that's what we used to have as humans, ADHD, because you need that to live in nature, to deal with everything. You have to make sure you respond to the environment, like it's life or death. And that's what AC folks want. They want stress, but not the really bad stress. They they need, accountability, and then urgency, and some consequences or reward. So it's always like a day by day, like I'm attacking the day, I'm getting things done. You need that like deadline urgency every day, but not too much, too strong, because that you burn
Mhm.
out. Because the AC folks like, hey, I can procrastinate and my body just gives me the bare amount of minimal energy and I get this much done, but I'm so dead. But then I feel kind of dead in between. So there's a lot of, more than before, a lot of folks with trauma and stuff. And like I have he's going to come back to me, a client's like, he needs like trauma work, whether it's energy or somatic therapy, and he needs to see a myo person probably. And and he also needs to, as much as consciousness as he can, like, be like, okay, I'm gonna suck up now because I'm in college now, and it's going to be even hard now to do everything by yourself. And now you have to, manage everything. So there's a lot of ADHD folks with trauma. That's why some of the coaches might later become a therapist or learn some trauma thing, because too many of them have in traumatic events, or little traumatic events, and how they responded to it wasn't very good. So that's why I incorporate a lot of somatic stuff into my coaching, because doesn't matter if trauma or not, you need to release that stress and anxiety and depression. So yeah.
Henry, we have a great question from one of our listeners. She's saying, any suggestions for the child who gets hyper focused and does not realize his own needs? For example, the immediate urge to go to the bathroom without warning. He forgets to take off his jacket until overheated, or doesn't put on layers until way too cold, forgets to eat until hangry and upset, etc. Don't want to be a nagging mom and want him to learn to advocate for himself.
Yeah, so of course, one of the things, as always, is breathing. How's his breathing going? If he's hypoventilating or hypo or hyperventilating while hyper focused, and bad posture and all that stuff, then he's more likely going to keep hyper focusing and ignoring. So he's probably, disassociating from his body um, quite often every day. And it's like you can actually use some of the things he hyper focus on to help him get out of it. So if there's some, cartoon or characters or whatever he likes, if you, whether you know, print pictures or, ask questions about how he's feeling or relation to those things he likes to create some awareness in his brain to associate, hey, I can be like SpongeBob and and be more present and happy and aware of my body, because you have to take their interests and associate it with the things that they forget or don't want to do, and you got to make it more interesting, because then you're just going to have issues with trying to push them to do it. It's like they don't care, they care more, which sounds sad, about SpongeBob, like that's what SpongeBob would do versus your mom and dad tells you, or that their friends do. I mean,
Mm-mm.
friends is not bad. So you got to work with finding their likes and working with that and their strengths, and teaching them to ask questions, because that's what we do in coaching. It's like, what can I make this more comfortable for me? What is the first step I can do? If I do this, I get this. So
Mm-hmm.
it's about training that your brain to talk to yourself, and it's like, so, what do you want? I want to be happy. I want to feel good, etc. So it's about asking questions and training, and a lot of times you need visual stuff, and
Mm.
so you need to make it surround them stuff with that, and then and help him agree to some rules so you can limit things, and the trade-offs for that.
I was
Besides, yes,
just.
getting exercise in to help
Mm-hmm.
them. That's why. I mean, for example, Jackie Chan, one of the most famous Chinese actors, martial arts of all time. He was a stereotypical AC person, but he got martial arts to train his breathing and his mind and body. And that, compared to most sports, is so powerful when you do that. So, go ahead.
I was gonna do a suggestion. I'm not sure how old he is, but I bought this chart on Amazon that I can put on the refrigerator, and it has other magnets that go on there, and they are like roles and things that kids have to do. So, like, finish your homework, making your bed, whatever it is, you can pick the ones that you want and you put on the chart. And that may be taking your shoes off or your jacket off whenever you get home. And going to the bathroom as soon as you wake up. With my son is 4, and he is like that. He won't go to the bathroom until it's too late. So I make a point to, as soon as we wake up, I take him to the bathroom. I don't ask, I don't say anything. I literally just grab him and put him on the toilet so he can go pee. Like, I just, like that, I create a routine for him. And eventually he's just going to get up and he's going to go to the bathroom by himself, because I do it without asking, and just, it's part of our little routine. But yes, he's like that. If he's playing, if he's having fun, he doesn't want to do anything else. He doesn't want to stop and miss it. But this chart is very helpful where, let's say, if what they enjoy is watching TV or playing a game, um, they have to make sure that they do all of the things that you picked for them for that day, until they can get what they want. So you got the reward afterwards, after making sure that either bed's made, clothes or put in the laundry room or whatever you have your kids do. So yes, that visual, that they cannot get what they want to until those things are done. But great idea. Thank you so much. All right, Henry, how can people get in touch with you if they are looking for an ADHD coach?
Yeah, they can find me on the internet. It's ADHDcoachhenry.com. Once again, it's ADHDcoachhenry.com. And I got, resources on there, and you can reach out and ask me any questions regarding your situation or your child's situation. I'm more happy to help out.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for coming on Beauty of Breathing and sharing your story and how you can help people with the same issues that you grew up with. So glad that you're able to do that. So thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back next Tuesday. I'll let you guys know who the speaker is going to be. So stay tuned on our Instagram, and we'll let you guys know how to register. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye, Henry.
Bye.